you can see on this chart, Marquise, that there was liquidity here. Liquidity is really just sitting on the highs or the lows, swing highs and swing lows primarily is where liquidity sits. So don't make it too complicated. So they've swept the liquidity here. And liquidity is also just 2 candles, because on the higher time frame, they sweep this candle here, or this candle, but it's 2 candles on when you're up high, they sweep. So that's liquidity being swept right there, because if you go to the lower time frame, there'll be a series of candles there, and there'll be a swing low.
The way she explained it that I liked was she said that liquidity was a point where the market has trouble breaking through. So basically, if there's a high wick at, let's say, something 10, and then the open is at like 0-100, and then the wicks basically go up to like 0.5, but they fail to break above 0.10, and if the candle fails to close above 0.10, then that's a point of liquidity. So I like that, because you can basically just see the accumulation of the liquidity. But as far as when liquidity is taken, that's where she's a little off. So,
yeah. All right. So we have a so being on the weekly, I can see that the U.S. dollar overall has been choppy. So they took out liquidity here, they took out liquidity there. All along they've taken liquidity. We made a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 drop, another drop, sweep of liquidity. So at this point, it would look like the U.S. dollar wants to mount a comeback now to retrace this entire move, maybe back up to 50% area, maybe back into this gap area. And at that time, we could do this and go, or we could do this, or we could continue, or we could come all the way back down. So there's a number of different scenarios, but the most typical would be, the most expected one would be this one, to the downside, back in, and then a go. That's what I would expect. So U.S. dollar right now, very much on the trying to turn around at this point. So if I look at it on the monthly time frame, now we can really see what's going on. So you see how if you're on a lower time frame, you get lost in translation, because if you can't see the bigger picture, then you don't have an idea what's going on. That's the key to everything, to be able to see the bigger picture, and then that helps you to see what's going on in the chart. And then so I can see on the monthly here going on in the chart. Now I can see the entire on the structure, and so I can see that we have done this kind of move, and now we're doing this kind of move. So from this point here, I have a 1, 2, and then I go up, and this is a 4th wave. So the expectation was that we would go up and take out the highs. That would be the expectation on the monthly time frame, and these highs up here are also in. But right now we're a little bit in the doldrums with the dollar, as you can clearly see. So we are slowly making our way back through this huge mess that we went through. Very choppy. This is weeks upon weeks, months upon months, a couple of years we've been in. It's been 2 years we've been in this mess here with the U.S. dollar. So it's been in a range all this time. Quite interesting when you see it. And now we're trying now to push back to the upside. So are we done at this point would be the key question. Is this really the bottom? And we have to look to the left to kind of figure it out. There are some lows down here and so forth. So I could mark. It's our time, 6:23. Okay, I've got 7 minutes. I don't want to miss the open, so I just want to keep my eye on the time. So these are some equal lows right here. So we're very close to that equal low area. Let me see if I can get this thin. Oh, that's tough. Okay, there it is. Okay, so we did not come and take out those lows at this point as yet. So it is possible that we could go up and come back down one more time. That would be another sweep, and then we could get a 1-2, or we are done at this point without sweeping these lows over here, these equal lows. So that's possible. All right, so on the daily, you can see big chop down. So again, are we done at this point? Possibly, possibly not, because I have a 1, 2, 3 here. So it is possible for us to go down again. So that's kind of how you mash it up. 4-hour. So from the 4-hour point of view, again, you can see at this level we had a 1, 2, 3 here, 3, 4, 5. So are we done at this point? Possibly, but we have a 1, 2 here, chopping. We could go up. We could drop one more time. That is possible. So because I have a 1, 2, 3 here. So because I have a 1, 2, 3 here, this is very powerful. And the US dollar right now, like I say, is in a sideways movement. However, we could, looking like it wants to go up, we could go up, take out liquidity right here, and then continue back down. Okay, so there's liquidity here because this is a swing high. There's also liquidity down here because it's a swing low. And liquidity below, liquidity here, and so on.
You've got 5 minutes to open.
Yeah. All right, so that's kind of how, so back to the 1 hour where we looked at it in the first place. And you can see from this level, we made that move up, and then we're chopping. So the expected move would be to the upside. However, since if we're expecting a move to the upside, it is possible for them to take out the lows first. And they could even come and take these guys, although this has been swept. So here's a sweep of liquidity here already. So would they come and sweep this low again? Maybe, maybe not. So they might just take these guys, and then that's sufficient for them to continue. All right, let's go back to the NAS here. So the NAS, whoa, okay, you can see I've been doing a lot of trading here. So trading executions, turn off all the executions. Wow, so I've been mashing this thing up with trades. Actually, that was quite interesting. Let me put the trading back on again. I'm just going to show you guys something here because it's quite interesting. So these are all my trades since the weekend. So this was the 25th, that's Friday, right? So starting on Saturday. Okay, what's going on? Where's Saturday? 25th was Friday. Saturday. Oh, this is a NAS. I'm sorry. No wonder it's not showing. Okay, let me put it on the Bitcoin. There we go. I was wondering why is it not showing me Saturday and Sunday? Because it's NAS. Bitcoin. I was trading Bitcoin all this over the weekend here, and last night and so forth. And here are my results. Let me just do a quick, got 3 minutes. So these are all my results from over the weekend. I'll go all the way down to the 20. So this is the 27th, and then you can see the 27th here. These are the dates, right? And the times. And then if I go down, so there, I had one little loss right there, and I had another small loss there. That's still the 27th. Another small loss there. That's the 26th. That's Saturday. and then down to that's Friday. When we last traded on Friday. So to that point on the 25th, 26th is right there. So there we go. Starting here, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let me do that again. 26th. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 11. Okay. In any case, I had 4 losses, I believe, overall, and about 30 some odd wins in that time. So I was trying not to lose, but it's very, very difficult to not lose. But I had nice stretches of 10, 12, 15 wins in a row and so forth, just playing Bitcoin primarily. So it is doable, but it's very difficult to do. So that's the one thing I want to say. All right. Executions. Okay, so we're about ready to begin here on NASDAQ go down to the 1 minute time frame. So a quick look at the 15. How many seconds do I have left? No more seconds. It's starting now. 15 minute. We've been in an uptrend. We've got a pullback. So it does look like it's a buy opportunity here on the NAS. I'd be looking for a deeper retrace here. Don't know if we're going to get it or not. Back to 50%, perhaps 5 minutes. We come back down again. You can see we have a huge 1, 2 here. Let's move. So I'd like to see a deeper retrace, but I don't know if they're going to come back down or not. Doesn't look good for us coming back down at this point. So there was liquidity here, marquee under here. So you would think that they would sweep that, but they have not. Very close to sweep. They swept one. They swept this one, but did not sweep this one. Interesting. Right. Now
you always say that they won't take themselves out. So I assume that maybe that's their trades.
Possibly. They've swept. Now they've swept the liquidity here. Oh, quite volatile here. We've got a sweep at the top, a sweep at the bottom, and they're coming back again to sweep. Bottom. Very volatile, up and down here. What I'm looking for is the first gap that appears. So we haven't had one as yet. But what has happened is that we've taken the high from 830. The highest point at 830 has been taken. So it would point to us going down at this point. So I'm looking for them to come back into about a 50% retrace of this move. And that's where they're heading right now. So could have said, okay, let's sell it right here once they took the liquidity, but it's very violent, so it's a tough one. Right? It looks like we might get a gap now. So this might be our first gap here coming. So let's see if that we get one. So now they've come back below 50%. Yeah, this would have been a great sell right there, but it's a tough one. It's a tough one, that's for sure.
I made 33 handles on this down movement.
George doesn't play around. He just dives right in there head first. Hey, George?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. So we've swept. We've swept. So I do have my first gap, and it's right here. All right, so this gap now I'll keep on. That is quite the move here. So we've gone well below 50%, well below 70, coming into 79%. Will they take this low? It's kind of messed up our structure now, because if this was a 1-2 and they've come all the way back inside this area, not that great. We didn't really want to see it come that deep. Maybe in here and then a go, but yeah, they've come back down quite a bit. So I'm going to take a look at it from a 15-minute point of view. So you can see we're very choppy. We're inside a structure like that. So we're just chopping. Where would we expect to be going here? Let me go higher, 30 minutes. I'm going to take a look at this. Okay. So there's liquidity to be taken up here and here. Liquidity here to be taken if they're going to come back down any further. Hourly. Just trying to get my bearings on this. I left off last night. I was down here, so I caught most of this move up last night from yesterday, from 6 o'clock yesterday, and then had to go to bed last night, of course, and then now they're at this level. So they have not taken the high. I'm on the hourly now. That gives us 1, 2, 3, 4. So I would expect them to take this high out. So all this play in here is to more than likely continue back to the upside. Right, so that makes a little more sense now. See, once I look at the chart from a higher time frame, then I can see the overall trajectory. Now I've got these fibs marked out, Elliott wave stuff marked out. This is like a D leg at this point, looking for them to come up here, and then a possible move back down to take out this liquidity down here. That's a long-term play. That's on the 4-hour. Let's look at it on the daily. So on the daily, this is kind of what it looks like. We've had this 1, 2, 3 right here. So this is the controller, and then we dropped, and now we're inside this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the controller on this leg here, and we swept this level right in here. That's where we are. So I'm looking for them to come back down, take out all these guys. So this is a nasty for the NAS if this occurs. I really don't want to see that happen, but it looks like that's a possibility. But we're right here at this point. So right now the key is that we're on the daily time frame. We've swept these highs, and we're right in that, finishing the move here, which is 5 waves, and possibility for us to come down. Okay, so
There's also a possibility on that. You want a 4-hour?
that was a daily time frame.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I thought you were on 4-hour. I'm seeing 4-hour going up.
So 4-hour, this is what it looks like on the 4-hour. We've got a 1, 2, 3 here. We mashed up in the fourth wave. So I've got this marked, and then now we've pushed up, taken out the previous highs, which is what we expected. And now we're coming very much to the end of this move, and I would be looking for them to come back down to take out this low here. So 1-hour time frame. We're just kind of chopping up and down there, 30-minute, 15 minutes. So looking for them to take out this high over on this side up here. Looking for them to take out the high over here. Let me mark that with for them to take this high.
I made a mistake in my downward move. I got 50 handles out of it.
That's really good, George. Good way to start the day.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got our first gap. I'm on the 5-minute. We've come all the way down. We have not broken this low, so we've been very choppy here. And we turn around, you can see this is serious chop. So it's a tough one to play. The best play, and George took it, was to jump in at this point, but it's very volatile. So you have to be quite thick-skinned to do that.
Yeah, it is very, very volatile right now.
I'm looking for those on YouTube watching us, we are the 1, 2, 3 traders. What we're looking for is a 1, 2, 3 setup, and a 1, 2, 3 setup is, for example, right here. This is a 1, 2, 3 setup, and yet another 1, 2, 3 setup. So what is a 1, 2, 3? It is simply a low, a high, and another low, and that's our 1, 2, 3. So then once that one's complete, then we have another 1, another 2, another 3. So that's another 1, 2, 3. And again, you could continue doing that 1, 2, 3 like that. That's a 1, 2, 3, or that would be a 1, 2, 3 there, and so on. So you can do that over and over. But the best 1, 2, 3 is the first or second one to catch the move. And here there's a 1, 2, 3, and here there's a 1, 2, 3, and so an opportunity there to take that to the upside.
Looks like we want to head up now.
Yeah, I'm not even looking at a trade at this point. So there, that was a nice 1, 2, 3 right there. Again, very choppy.
Huge. That handle just crashed through that fair value gap. Very, very volatile right now.
So this is our low. Our lowest point is our 1. Then the highest point would be our 2, which is kind of like a tie here. So either one of those. And then our 3 would be our lowest point here. And we would be looking for an entry in this area to push to the upside. So that was very quickly done here. So at this point, they can either come up and take out the high, and then we get a pullback, or they don't have to take the high, we'll get a pullback. Which one? So looking for a move from this high to this low here.
It's 15 minutes really to almost 15 minutes to 10 o'clock, where we often get an algo.
Okay, so I'm looking for a retrace of this move now. Back down. I could put it just on that leg here. So just looking at this leg, looking for them. They might sweep this high first, or they might not. So we'll see which one they do or not. Let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla's probably, okay, so Tesla opened with a bang up, and now it's very choppy.
In the Wall Street Journal this morning, it said the big Magnificent Seven are off 6.5% from last week. So
for them to come back, hey? So
yeah,
they swept the high. I could have been a little more aggressive here and jumped in and bought down here, but I wasn't even on the time frame at the time. So all right, so we have taken out the highs, and I'm still looking for a retrace here. Now that we've taken out
nice
this
fair value, pretty big fair value gap in here, it looks like.
It's quite the turnaround here. So they came down, they swept these guys out, they swept these guys out, swept these guys out, swept these guys. See how many sweeps see all the liquidity sitting here, Marky. So just remember what liquidity is, Marky. Liquidity is just stops. So they just swept out all the stops. Anyone who is going long has been taken out of their positions. All these guys went long. Most everybody put their stops below these lows, and so they were all taken out. Anybody who went short at this point here and did not get out down here is now taken out of their position as well. And that's basically what liquidity is. It's not, don't confuse yourself with all kinds of jargon and stuff. It's just quite simple. Liquidity is stops. And the reason why I say swing highs and swing lows is because most people put their stops below and above swing highs and swing lows.
Yeah, I was looking. Also, asked ChatGPT why do like after a couple of questions, but why do institutions need or seek liquidity? And it basically said that that's how they hide their orders, their larger orders, in order to not be seen in what they're doing or have you.
You asked it why they need liquidity?
Yeah, why? So after a plethora of questions of what liquidity is and so back for like the ChatGPT answers, I asked them why do the larger institutions seek liquidity, or why do they need liquidity? And it said because they have these large positions, and in order to be able to get those positions filled and also hide their movements, that's why the larger institutions seek liquidity.
That's an interesting answer.
Yep, stops basically. But it's basically just a long way to say run stop.
Yeah, well, the short of it is the reason why they go down and take out the liquidity is because if they're going long, it's just cheaper prices for them.
Right.
They come down to get cheaper prices because it's the whole key is to buy low. You've heard them say buy low. So if you have a whole bunch of money, millions and millions of dollars, you don't want to buy high, you want to buy low. So you come down and get stops because they're cheap prices, they're cheaper prices. Because the guy who went in here, when we go in here to buy, we have to put a sell stop here, right? We have to put a sell stop for a stop. So they need sale prices. They need sellers down here in order to spend the money to go. So these are where all the sellers are. The sellers are down here because that's where they put their stops.
You buy low, sell high, and hide your hand.
Yeah. So we can do both in here, right? We can sell high as well, right? Sell high is the other way to go, right? You sell high, and then you buy it back. you buy it back low, or you buy low and you sell it high. So we can go either way. That's the beauty of our game. We can go either way. All right, so this is quite the move. They've really swept out the highs. So this is not a sweep per se. It's more of a continuation of this move. So we have a 1, 2, 3 down here, and we're moved up. So we could chop up and down for a little bit here before we continue. So
well, could just make a retrace and hit wave 5 too.
yeah. Yeah, there's a couple of scenarios here. We can chop, or we can just go again. And we're coming down quite a bit. So looking for, and again, another retrace into here. So I want to keep this original gap that was made.
The volatility is tremendous right now. Volatility is saying that you may be safe at 60 pip stop, a 60 handle stop, which is huge.
I've only seen one really good trade opportunity that was here. So
Down
far.
below there, yeah. I missed that one too.
Maybe a better trade opportunity on a 5-minute, where it's dropping, has that large fair value gap.
Yeah, well, there's actually a couple of large fair value gaps, yeah.
Oh, that last one on that last large candle. We can.
Yeah, there's a big 5-minute gap there.
Yep, that one.
Certainly. So that's where 50% is of this move from this low to this high, looking for them to come down into this area. I'm being very cautious and selective here this morning.
Yeah, that's worthwhile doing.
All right, let's see if we can come down below 50% of this move from this move. So I'm looking for the move from
that mark, yeah, or very close. They will make it. Let's put it
low
that
to
way.
this high.
Yeah.
So we come down to 50%. All right, so we're touching the 5-minute gap now. All right, so if we can still come below 50% here, that would be good. I think we're going to drop a little further, perhaps. And I'll look for a fractal entry here. I'm looking to enter to go long, because I'm looking for a target up at this. Where is that high? Am I there already? Did they take that high? Okay, so there we go. We've broken 50%. So looking for an entry here. I'm going to take an opportunity to buy. And I'm in on that buy here. So let's see if I can get back above. I need to go up to the hourly 15. Okay, so they did take that high over here. They swept that high out. So that was quick. They did that in quick order. Looking for one more push up towards the highs. That will finish the structure here. So I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm looking for this push to take out this high up here. See what S&P looks. S&P is the same. So we got a 1, 2 here, and 3 and 4, and looking for one more push up to take out this high. See what Bitcoin looks like. Bitcoin is quite the drop here. 5 minute. Quite the drop. Indeed. So on Bitcoin, they swept the high, created a 1, 2, 3 top, another 1, 2, 3 top, drop. And now we've swept the lows. So I'd be looking for a turnaround 1, 2, 3 here to come back up on Bitcoin. See how it looks on the 15. So what they're doing right now is just retracing this entire leg. So we'd look for about a 50% retrace, I should say, of this entire move. And we're almost there at 50% at that point. Okay, so they're dropping down quite a bit here. So let's see where I am. Okay, so we've come down quite a bit more than 50%. I didn't put a stop in because I figured that if they dropped further, I could always add to my position here. So I'm going to do just that. Coming back to that first original gap here. So I'm in a bit of drawdown, looking to add to my position here. Quite the drawdown from entry at that level.
I'm still waiting for push back up to the upside on the 5 minute.
Added some more contracts here.
What is your take on divergence for indicators, like for like something like a MACD or what have you?
They have their place, I'm sure. I don't use them personally, but some people swear by them. So I think it's just price and time that's the key mover. But the indicators can help, like the moving averages can certainly help you. And as we started off with the MACD and moving averages, and they certainly helped us during those times to see what was going on and so forth. So I wouldn't dissuade anyone from using them, but it's again, everything seems to be based on time and price more so than anything else.
I'm getting quite the divergence to the downside for my indicators. Like I got a higher high on the price, but none of my indicators have gone higher.
Well,
so the price has a higher high, but all my indicators have a lower high.
Well, I'm very surprised at this drop here. They've come right back down into this area here of our 1, 2, 3. So it's a little disconcerting that they have done that. Not liking that very much. So I'm down quite a bit now. So I would need a huge turnaround here to save me from this. So my last line of defense would be this low, but I don't want to see them even come down there. So it needs to turn around pronto here for me to get a chance. Otherwise, if they take that low, and they did, wow. So would not have expected them to take this low at all in this move. So because I have a 1, 2 here, I would have expected to turn around by this point here, and they've come and taken. So all the stops that were here have been taken now. So if they take this low, then all bets are off, and I'm totally wrong on this. And I would, so we're still alive because they haven't taken the low here at this point. So, but might be short-lived here because they might take that low as well. So what are they doing? And now I can see what they're doing overall. You see, they've taken that low. So I'm in deep troubles here. So this is the first time I've seen myself in such a kerfuffle. So they're sweeping these lows. This low is next. This low would be next. So talk about seeking liquidity at this point. So, and I have a 1, 2, 3 way down here. That's made this move. This is a big 1, 2, 3 here. So I would think that this low would be safe. They might take this one, and then we should continue, and go back up. But was not expecting that. I thought we would bounce from here. So I am dead wrong. So now they've taken this low, so there's only one left. This is how they put people in trouble, like myself right now. So they've taken that low as well. So now there's only these guys over here left. Interesting. So that's quite the drawdown. So at this point, I'm going to buy some more. So why am I buying? I'm buying because they're sweeping the lows, taking out all the liquidity. So there's no more liquidity left except here and here now. So if they have their quota, we should see a push back to the upside here. So I'm not panicking out of my position, even though I'm in huge drawdown. I would expect a turnaround. So this is a strategy that can work for you, but it can also be hazardous too, because if they keep going down, then it just puts me in more and more trouble. So will they take this one?
That kind of was the highest high. It took out those Friday highs.
Mm-hmm. Got one last line of defense left right there, and they've taken that one as well. So boy, they're really going down. Okay, so I'm going to go to the 15. So now we can kind of see what's going on here. So this now becomes my last line of defense. These lows here and these lows here and this low here. So we need to turn around, otherwise this is not going to be boding well for me. So here's my next line of defense. And this, I wouldn't do this at home, kids. This is all just for educational purposes. I wouldn't expect anyone to be doing what I'm doing here. I'm going to do a Nick Sean. I'm down quite a bit, and so I'm going to continue to buy because I'm down. And
I see it pulling back.
Yeah, see if I can recoup my losses here.
But I'm expecting a wave 3 to the downside.
Okay, so we need a retrace of this current move. So they've swept the lows out, pulled all the way down. So this is a break of structure, and we're looking for a retrace back up into this area here. Let's see if we can get that. Did not have this happen to me over the weekend at all, and not once. So first play on Monday morning, and I get that. So I'm buying more as we try to turn the corner and go back up. So I need a big push back to the upside here. In the interim, I jumped in on Bitcoin to see if I can mitigate some of my losses on the NAS, and I'm doing okay on Bitcoin. So almost getting there. See if get a good push here. you can get through this gap and put me into positive here. And I got back into positive right there, and I'll take it. I'll just take it off because I just needed to get back to break even so that I could start again. So that's saving a loss by doing that, but you don't really want to be doing that. It's not a great thing. So at this point, we have a 1-2 drop, move back up, and now we could expect another drop one more time to take out this low here. So that was quite the drawdown, but able to escape the drawdown. And again, in the interim, Bitcoin has given me nice profits at that point. So looking for Bitcoin to continue going up a little further. So the NAS just right back to break even basically, and now they're pushing back to the downside. So I'd expect them to go down and take out the lows. So this could be a sell at this point, back to the downside if one wanted to. Here's my first gap, 5-minute gap. I closed my Bitcoin because I'm expecting them to retrace the current move, so could jump back in again. There's some gaps here, so we could come back down before we make another move. So that would be my 1, 2, 3, and that would be a nice entry. So took some nice profits there on Bitcoin, and can look for another entry at this point. Similar to NAS. So again, I would expect NAS to come down and take out this low based on the fact that we have a 1, 2, 3 at this point. So our structure is 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at this point, we're here. So we want to see them take out this low. So that would be a sell if we're brave enough to take a sell at this point. And Bitcoin did not retrace down very much. So that looking for a deeper retrace here, but they did not retrace very much at all. We've got a series of gaps on Bitcoin. Many big 3 gaps there. So I would still expect them to retrace, but now we would take out these lows. There's liquidity here, so come back in, still come back into this area. That would be a nice buy to continue going up. Okay, so the NAS is sweeping the high. So this could be a sell at this point now. We're touching the starting gap, the original gap that started everything. So we could touch the 5-minute gap as well. That becomes an inverted gap now on the 5-minute. So if we go to the 5-minute time frame, that gap, the 5-minute gap over here is now inverted, and that can cause resistance. So we touch it, and it propels price back to the downside. I would expect this move, but you know, see if it does occur. So look for a fractal for a sell. But this time I'll put a stop in, as much as I hate putting stops on, but so they're coming into midpoint of that gap. So okay, I'm going to sell it there now. Looking for a drop here. So immediately I can take something off. Oops. Take a little something off and let the rest go now. Put my stop above the high. So if they're going to come back to take me out, they'll take me out above the high. Otherwise, we'll continue going down to take out the lows. And I'm just talking like a tick above that high, and that's it. 280. So pretty good. Having a drawdown, I was down like 18,000 on that drawdown, and yet so on the 20, just these four trades here. Let's see, where am I? So the 28th right there. So still came out with no loss and really nice profit here, like to 35, 45, 40, like over $4,500 in profit just on those quick trades. So looking for a big drop here again to the downside. We've got a 1, 2, 3 right now. So we're looking for them to take out this low, continue down. If I'm wrong, I get stopped out, and that's all there is to it, right? not moving very fast. I don't like that. Never like when it's very slow. It's nice to see a quick move out and down, but the S&P is doing. S&P is trying as well. So it's the same thing on the S&P. We've got the 1, 2, 3 top, this level down, they drop. So now they're chopping it. So they could easily go back up and take everybody out and then drop it. That's possible. They can do that. So that's why they might be chopping it up a little bit here, because they don't have enough sell orders. So they might need to go back up and get some more, and then they'll drop it down. So that I could be in jeopardy with my stop, and that's why like most of the time I don't even bother putting the stop in really. But if I feel confident that that price is going to drop, I will forego the stop. And yeah, if they do come up and take me, that's I can always add to my position to continue going back down. But you saw what happened here. It's not a great thing to do sometimes. My expectation at this point was that we were going to get this move back up to take out this high. But they said, nope, we're not doing that at all. We're not going back up there. We're just going to drop it. So it violated my structure with them doing that. And now they're hanging around in here way too long. So it looks like they want to go up and take out these equal highs. So that would put me in jeopardy, so again, I could take my stop off, but that's fine. I'll absorb a loss if that's the case at this point, just so that I don't have to go into drawdown again. So it looks like that's the ploy. They're going to take out the highs one more time. They came back and touched the gap again. Oh, it's Tesla. Tesla doing the same thing. So Tesla is doing the same thing. So we got a 1-2 here on Tesla drop, and they're just chopping it up and down here. So we could see them sweep that high right here. They could sweep this high one more time, and then we get this drop. So they're coming to take this low. But they're of course trying to seek people who sold. They have buy stops here, so there's lots of buy stops up here. So they're going up to take out all the sellers from here, right? So they'll sweep that high and then drop it down, take everybody out down here who bought. So the buyers are down here, buyers are down below. So these guys are all.
When I look at the 1 hour, it looks like we've made an A down, a B, a new top, and we're in a wave C to the downside. What are you seeing on that?
On the hourly. So I've got it all marked out, but let me go back up one more time frame, and then you'll kind of get the gist. So from this low over here, I've got a 1, 2, 3 over to 4 up to 5. So I'm looking for them to be done up here, and we should be getting this move back down to take out this low.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
okay.
kind of.
But I'm looking at the smaller 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going up to the top.
This leg here.
Yeah. Right.
This leg. Okay, so that would be either our fifth wave here or our D leg.
Yeah.
Okay, so
but
so
it
there's
looks
two
like
ways.
it should be coming down.
Yeah, there are two ways of looking at this as well. So if this is an A, B, C, D, then we're going to have an E leg that's going to come back down, take out this low here. Then we get another push back up to take out the high again. So that's one scenario. Or it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that means we get an A, B, C to come down, still take out this leg anyways. and then we could go again. So
Yeah.
either case is basically the same kind of thing. So that's how I see it. So if I drop back to the hourly and we're just looking at this leg, then it's also 1, 2, 3, 4. So let me just shrink it up a little bit. So from the low, this would be our 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and then this is the fifth leg. So we would still be expecting us to come down. That's what you're seeing?
That's pretty much what I'm seeing too.
Yeah.
I can't see it going up to break the high at this point, but
so 30
it's really consolidating for quite a while now, and that's what's kind of bothering me.
Yeah, well, the expectation is that we're coming down one more time here.
Yeah.
To take out these lows here. But we could be wrong. So, there's always that possibility that we're wrong. So they're still hanging around up here. So they came very close to taking out that high, and they're trying again. So we could get taken out here before they drop it. I'm expecting them to drop it, but I was expecting them to turn around and go back up here. So it didn't happen. So, I can be wrong.
It looks like it's right on top of the VWAP.
So Bitcoin, I exited my position looking for a retrace to jump in again to catch the move, and instead they just made a quick little blip, and then off they went without even coming back into the gap. So sometimes you're expecting something, it doesn't occur, and now I missed the move because I exited my position. I could have just moved my stop up, but by moving your stop up, you take the risk of getting stopped out and then missing the move. So this one's a tough one because they didn't retrace by very much. You would expect at least a 50% retrace of this move in our 1-2, and we don't even get that. So that would have made a nice entry here for that play, but not happening. So you have to have an expectation, but sometimes you're going to miss the trade. So it looks like they still want to take these highs out first, and I could be in jeopardy still. I could move my stop and put it above here, this level, but that doesn't mean I'll be safe. So I'll stick with my stop being there. It looks like they're going to take me out. So it's a tough one because I was just in a drawdown earlier. I don't want to be in another drawdown, so I'll suffer the loss at this point if they do come back up and take me out. I expected them to just drop it here, but they're not. So they're just chopping sideways. So when they chop sideways like that, it indicates that they still haven't had their quota more so, and these guys might be in jeopardy up here. We're getting a nice little drop now, so let's see if that... Okay.
Yeah, so this is the best drop that we've had now.
So looking good here. So I could now put my stop into positive if I wanted, but I take a risk here of getting stopped out now by doing that.
Yeah, because they can play games at this point.
Which is not really a great place to move my stop to, but I'll put it just above this candle high. See if I can, right there. Let's see if they don't come back up, then I'm good, and we continue down. If they come back up, at least I don't lose anyways on that trade, because I didn't like this movement in here. And they can still come back up and take you out. They can still take all these guys out because there's a lot of liquidity sitting here right now.
Yeah,
and
right now
that's what they did.
Liquidity up there.
Yeah, so they've just taken me out now, but at least I didn't lose, and now they can come back up and take off everybody out. So this was this is what's really interesting, and if you guys can really see this, this is the ploy. So there are buyers here, there are buyers right here, and buyers all under these wicks, right?
Well, they've taken everybody out now.
And there's sellers up here, sellers all above these here areas. So if they're going to come down, what they're going to do is they're going to more than likely take out the sellers, and they usually leave the buyers alone, and then they come down and take out the buyers. But in this case, they came down, took out the buyers first, see? And now they go up and take out the sellers. They're gone, and more than likely now they'll just come back down. So I saved myself by getting a little bit of a profit without getting stopped out. But yeah, this was the reason why they were going sideways like this was because they wanted to take everybody out of their positions. So that's the ploy. So whenever you see sideways movement in the markets, the buyers and sellers are in jeopardy. And it's going to break one way or the other. So which way is it going to break? It all depends on where. And for us, it's where that 1, 2, 3 is. What's controlling the move? If we have a 1, 2, 3 down here, then the likelihood is that we're going to go back up this way. And vice versa. If we have a 1, 2, 3 up here, then the likelihood is that we're going to go down this way. So they're going to manipulate the area, and they're going to take out the buyers and sellers. So if we have a 1, 2, 3 here, then when we get into this chop, they're going to manipulate it, take all the buyers and sellers out, and usually they're going to take out the sellers first because these guys think it's going down.
They popped above volume weighted moving average, and now they're going back down again.
Yeah. All right. So now we can sell again if we want, because that's what we would expect them to do, is to come down. So we're into we're deep into the macro, but not much going on in the macro so far at 10 o'clock. So we would need a sweep of this low and then a retrace. And that would give us a nice 1, 2, 3 at that point to continue down.
You almost have to consider this is still part of the consolidation.
So this is probably the best thing to do is to wait for a break of this low, get that, and then get the retrace back into this gap right here, and that would present a nice opportunity at that point. Still moving on this candle. So coming back into midpoint of this gap at this, so even though we have not taken this low, we've this is an order block right here. This blue candle, this big blue candle is an order block. So that might be enough.
The gap you were talking about is really volume weighted moving an average point too.
Interesting. So looking for a pushback into that gap. Let's see if we can get that. They might just go without going back up, because we've basically touched the gap at that point, so they don't have to go back up in there. I'd like to see them do that, but they might not. Let's see. So I'll get my sell ready here. Try it again for a sell. So that would give us a nice 1, 2, 3. If we can push back into that gap right there, and then that would present a nice entry. And they're taking a low, so they're not going back up. So sometimes, we sit there and I'm waiting for them to do this little move, and they don't do it, and then the next thing you know, they're taking off. without you, and that's okay. You know, it's fine.
Well, you can't be too sure yet because they might be just doing this to cause more people to go in so that there's more stops to take out up top.
They swept this one. They did not sweep this one yet. So we're still looking for them to take this one out. But
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
They just
so now
didn't.
they've taken that low. Okay, so still looking for a retrace. Right, still looking for a retrace back into the gap. And we get that. So sometimes it's just patience, you know, and it might look like it's not going to happen, but if you're patient, it can occur. So we've got a gap on this side. So that's an inverted gap, and then we've got a regular gap on this side. So if we could get a pushback into the midpoint of the gap there, that would be just perfect. So we're getting a breach of our low. Is it too late, and they're going to just leave us? Maybe, and you know, we don't get that entry. So I could have nickel and dime myself out of a position. All I need to do is just enter at that point, you know, without having to worry about a pullback, and I might have, you know, been okay. So sometimes, like I say, you're trying to get the perfect entry, and you miss the entry by nickel and diamond, as I always call it, nickel and diamond yourself out of a position. So my wife would, like I always say, my wife would be upset with me because she would just say, just get in, you know, what's the big deal? Just get in, because you're going to miss the opportunity by what? By saving
There's always
$10.
other opportunities too.
Yes, there are always other opportunities. So you have to look at it in that way. So it looks like by me not pulling the trigger here, I've missed the opportunity, and that's okay. So the key here is that I was correct in calling this move. So based on our structure, the expected move is for them to come down and take out this low. So all this chop in here, now this move, expecting them to come down. That's the expected. So getting in sometimes can be a little tough, but there should never be any fear of getting in. You know, you should always be confident when you're getting into the position. Is it too late for them to come all the way back up now? Probably. Right? We're in a move to the downside that doesn't look like we're going to get much of a pullback, if any, at this point. So it's kind of late in the game. There's a gap here now. We could pull back into that gap and a little touch like that, and we could still continue down. I don't want to jump in at this point. I prefer to jump in up here. That would have been a better entry up here. You could still jump in at this point, and you know, if you felt that there was enough handles to this low. So how many handles is that? Let's see, 70 to say 40, 30 handles or so. That's reasonable. Some people are good with just 10 handles, right?
I still like it on a 5 minute.
Let's see how the 5 minute looks. So the 5 minute.
5 minute looks messy.
Yeah, it's a tough one on the 5 minute because it's not giving me any cushy feeling here. It's harder to see. I'm not sure what you're seeing, Marquis, but
so I'm seeing that larger 1, 2, 3 to the downside, where we're in wave 3 right now. Whereas it could form another 1, 2, 3 to the downside as well. But I'll be taking that larger one to the downside.
So when you say larger 1, 2, 3, are you referring to this entire move?
Yep.
Oh, okay. You have to be really careful about that. Yeah, you have to be super careful about doing it that way, Marquis.
I wanted that one initially, but then I just took that smaller 1, 2, 3 on the 1 minute, and it's got it at the 161.
Yeah, because this this 1, 2, 3 you're referring to here, yes, it's a 1, 2, 3, but the chances of this going way down might not be what you think. This could just be a sweep at this point that I was looking for, and then we could turn around and go right back up again. So you have to be careful about when you're on the higher time frame, looking at it in such a longer term, because sometimes it doesn't play out that way. So you can see they didn't even sweep this low yet. So I'm getting quite the pullback here at this point.
See, I can see that as an ABC, and we're working on leg E. I mean, we're working on leg E right now. I mean, there's so many different ways of reading this darn thing.
Well, again, if this is a 1, 2, 3, then this is a fourth wave. So this is a fifth wave right now that we're in, and we just started at 1, 2.
But that one leg down, if that was an algo move down, you can make that a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you start A, B, C high, taking out A, and D coming down, taking out B.
So you're looking at it in this way.
Yeah, right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
And
that's
we're
fine.
Like
Yeah.
E right now.
Yeah, you can look at it in that way. That would be A, B, C, D, and E, and then now we're in the fifth wave coming down, and they're just chopping it up and down here. So they're giving us another chance to get in, but are we to take the bait?
I'm looking at that point that you just circled as going up as a possibility. I mean, I can't rule it out. I see exactly what you said, but it's difficult for me to interpret it.
Yeah, well, they're inducing the longs now, right? They're enticing the guys to go long. See how they come back into this gap?
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting, eh? So do I take the bait now and jump in to go short again? Or are we done at this point? They're not
going to touch VWAP again.
So this is the dilemma. You know, this is what I was looking for in the first place over here,
right,
to drop.
That's right.
And now they said, oh, you know, we're going to make a 1, 2 drop, come back in. And now it kind of messes everything up. And it's like, okay, what's going on? What are they doing? Why are they doing this? Why are they coming all the way back up in here? Right. So it's a very interesting turn of events here. It now looks like, okay, here's your opportunity to jump in and take this back to the downside. But it's very difficult here because they've violated our structure. You see? So our structure has now become totally violated, and this could be the bottom. They don't have to take that low. So maybe we need to look at S&P to see if S&P did take this low.
Okay, they just went above VWAP.
Okay, so let's take a look at S&P to see if S&P took out this low over here. And S&P, see that S&P came very close to taking out that low. Isn't that interesting? So we would have had there's a divergence we would talk about at that point. They came very close to taking that low up, but they did not. So S&P did not go up as high into this area like the NAS did. See the difference? So we could still look for S&P to come down to take out both lows. Whereas the NASDAQ has gone much higher into this area. So it's quite interesting, the difference here now. See how far up they've gone. They've gone past where I even expected them to retrace to. So it's kind of saying, okay, maybe we're not going to take this low, which is very odd, because then that messes up our structure. So we would expect them to take that low, but they did not. So that's where this becomes, this is why this is so difficult to explain and teach, because
okay, well, they closed inside that they closed above VWAP now.
Yeah, they've gone up too far for my liking at this point. You know, even the NAS, even S&P now, they've gone up. They've come back into this gap here on the S&P as well. So we've come back into an area that I would not have expected them to come back into. So for this to work properly, we want to see price go like this and come back maybe to this gap here.
Right.
And that's enough. We don't need to come any higher than that. But they've gone and broken through And now they come back into this gap. So can we still come down? Yes, but it's just kind of weird that they did that. That's all. That's all I'm saying. So we've come way back up in here. Do I sell it? Do I dare sell it at this point now to come down? Expecting them to take that low out. Let's see what Tesla is doing. Maybe Tesla might give us a hint. Tesla is still in the fourth wave. So we've got the 1-2 we dropped, and Tesla is still mashing up. And like they're saying, oh, we don't want to take this low. But yet, yeah, we could still take the low. So you see how it's very tricky. We got a 1, 2, 3 bottom. It looks like they want to go and take out all these guys up here, but they could still turn it over and come down. They could still go up and take these guys out and then still turn it down and go down. So because we're still in the fourth wave here. So you have to be really careful in this area. The number of scenarios happening in here, that's very difficult. And whenever you see that you're going sideways, you have to be aware of that. But the key here is this 1, 2, 3 still. So my structure says I should be heading down to take out this low, no matter what. But they could go back up here, like I say, first, take those guys and then do that, or they could just come down. But at this point, because I have a 1, 2, 3, I expect one more leg up. So it's very tricky.
Yeah, I mean.
So what's NAS doing now? Probably coming down.
This is a very aggressive down at this point.
See, that's what I'm saying is, is it worthwhile to jump in at this point and come down, right? And you see, so it's a very, very interesting.
The kind of candle where you think they're not going to let you get in at a good point anymore, but and there's a lot of volume in that too.
I think they're trying to make something to push below that VWAP, because right now the VWAP is what's doing all the resistance, all the support, I should say.
Yeah, it's well, no, it's resistance right now.
Oh, your VWAP is different from mine, George.
From
your
930 is
yeah. I have the regular VWAP, and at the regular VWAP is just support.
Okay, so look at them come. They come back in again.
This come back into, it's almost touching VWAP again, but it's at half the volume of that down move.
It's very volatile here, guys. It's a tough calls here. It's a tempting sell still to me.
They are playing this to the hilt.
Yeah, it's still a tempting sell here to come down, because I'm still expecting them to take out these lows, especially this one. So
it's interesting that last candle closed at 60% of the volume of the down move.
Yeah, I'm going to sell it right there. I'm just going to take a stab at this, and my stop would be above the high here, so they can come and get me at this high if I'm wrong. And this is these are easy pickings. If I leave my stop right above that high, that's easy pickings for them to take that high out, because it's a swing high, so they could easily sweep that. However, they have swept here already, so they might leave this guy alone, these guys alone here, and we could just fall. It'll be very close here. So I'm leaving the stop.
Okay, price closed above VWAP again.
So my stop would be right above that high, and it looked like that they would take the high, very close to taking it. So they're playing around here. Looks like they're going to take that high again. So I won't put the stop on just yet. Very dangerous area here, though. So they are taking the high. So they did take the high just by a tick. That's all they need. Was that enough for them? So I would have been stopped out. See? Just by a tick there. Is that enough for them to push this back to the downside now? So maybe not. So
Problem is I have only the 1 minute showing really good strength going up.
So they're saying they want to go right up to take out the high up here. So
yeah, that's what they're saying. But
yeah, that's a nasty if they do that.
That's a toughie. Well, I'm sitting this guy out anyway.
Yeah, it's a fourth wave, and that's the reason why we're having this issue. So there is a gap up here.
Yeah, if they take out
up there.
If they take out the immediate prior top, that would mean that could be the wave 5 that I was wave E that I was looking for.
Yeah, they could sweep this guy. There's a gap here.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, I put my stop above the gap and thinking that, okay, they shouldn't take this, come back up here above this gap. So they could take these equal highs, and that might suffice, and we could get this drop. So let's see what they do here.
I'm looking at this as a possible, if they go up and break that top, that would be the possible turnaround to go down.
These guys are good. Wow. I cannot even.
I need to see a break of that guy.
Very close to it right now.
Yep.
And so I could be in jeopardy. So you come back to our original opening gap. Very interesting.
Yeah. It looked like, let me see. I have to see. 39.25. 39.5. Okay, it missed the top so far by 25 cents.
So far.
So far, yeah.
They can still spike through.
Oh yeah. I just wanted to get a idea of what I was dealing with in price.
Yeah, I think they actually touched the high, 441 even.
Well, I'm on the future.
441. Yeah, it is a tie. So likely that they're going to take that high. Yeah. They tied it without going through. So it's a likelihood that they will take the high. I'm watching Bitcoin here as well, and Bitcoin is just kind of dogging it as well. S&P, same thing. S&P.
They know how to play this so beautifully. We're coming into macro time.
Very messy area. Yeah, we're in quite the chop here on a Monday morning.
Boy, that's for sure. Okay, we're into macro time.
Looking for them to drop this without going back up anymore, but they might not listen to me here. I can't see them coming up here and not taking this high.
That's what's, I'm in agreement with that for sure.
It would seem that
But
they'd want to take
it
the
looks
high,
like
but-
they're trying to say, forget about it.
Huh.
Just not enough up there.
Interesting. Interesting.
Unless they're going to pull another one down where they're just pulling it down to get everybody to
I'm
buy
surprised.
into it.
I like the drop. No, Tesla. Oh, Tesla's leading the way here. So Tesla did not come back up to take out the highs either. And we had a 1-2 here, and they didn't go up one more time. They just said, nope, we're just going to drop. So this is just tough going here. Boy, you know, the expectation would be that they'd take these highs out one more time, but they did not. So they're just rolling right over. So there's the play that, you know, we're expecting them to roll over and take out this low. And they just chop it up and make it so difficult. But that's the expectation, that they'll take that low, and they did it. So that's all I'm looking for with the NAS. But they're doing it in a totally different. You know, they're just mashing this thing all up.
Look at what they're doing.
Still looking for them to take this low. But they're not making it easy here, that's for sure. So Tesla is leading the charge and saying, okay, I can do it for you guys. You know, you don't forget the indices. It's coming down. So you can see all these equal lows on Tesla are in trouble. All these lows here are in trouble. And here on the 5-minute now, we've got a nice 1, 2, 3. That looks pretty good, that we should continue going down, taking out all these lows. So if we look at Tesla on a higher time frame, 15-minute, we're up at a peak, and they're looking to take out all these lows. So short term. So this 1, 2, 3 top on Tesla on the 5-minute could take us down into 270 area, or even less. So that's quite the drop. All right, so we're getting a nice drop here on that. So I'm going to take a partial here just because I can. And lock in some profits there. All right, so now I can bring my stop down into a more palatable area. So my loss would be small at this point. So very close to taking that high out. So the reason I moved my stop, put my stop above the gap, just in case they did take this high, then I wouldn't think they'd go through the gap. But it's, you know, possible that they could have as well. They could have spiked it through just a wick, and then they get you. But looking pretty good here. We should continue down, take out this low, and this low. So bring this across, and this is the target really at that point. So let's go to the 5-minute. Can't see it. 15-minute. Okay, so this guy is gone. So that's really my close target here, this level. want to see them take this guy next. First, of course. This one is the next low-hanging fruit. And once we take this low, we should be good.
It just took it.
Yeah, so Tesla was pointing the way. Yeah, Tesla's coming to take out that low there. And we have this one next. This one next. Oh yeah, Tesla's really leading the charge to the downside here. So from this point here on Tesla, we got a clean 1, 2, 3 top drop, and we're going down nicely there. So S&P trying to get down there. They're still not going very fast, but slowly. So we've swept that low there, so we could get a pullback. But there are no gaps here, just an order block, which is not really an order block, but we should just continue going down here. So this is the first fair value gap from the morning, that one right there. We came right back into it. We didn't go through it. Interesting. And this was the first 5-minute one. We're getting that nice move now. We just have one more low to take out before we finally get to the low of lows. So now you can see what they did. Right, we got the 1, 2. They dropped it down, and then they did this very crazy looking structure here. So it's so messed up. Yeah, people, in the kerfuffle. Do we go long? Do we go short? What are we doing? What are we doing? Right? So this is the key here, and we should be expecting to take this low out. But you can see they make it so that you don't know for sure what they're going to do, and it's very, very, very difficult. It looked at this point here when we had this move that we would be going through no problem, but for whatever reason they decided to come back up and get some more orders. put my stop into positive just in case, because we just don't know if they're going to just scream through and go back up at this point. That's also a possibility. So I'll put my stop into positive. If they take me out, that's fine. But I still would expect them to continue down. There's nothing for them to come back up here. So we should just continue going down. We should just continue dropping. There's an order block here, like I say, but it's not really, shouldn't be in play anymore. We should just continue down. That's our break of structure right there. Bitcoin is just doing a similar thing. They're just chopping up and down in here. So it's a similar in the sense that we have a 1-2 up here, double 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. We get this drop. So we would expect them to come down, take out this low as well. Same kind of thing. We got another 1-2 here, another one's setting up. We could do this drop here as well on Bitcoin. It's our time. Okay, so it's after 8 now. I'll go another 13 minutes and we'll call it a morning. I guess I have to babysit my grandson today, so I'm stuck with the little terrorist. And believe me, he's a terrorist. Okay, so Bitcoin is a nice sell to come down at this point. That's a nice fractal sell on Bitcoin. I'm going to sell at Bitcoin right there. Stop above the high. Very slow motion here, eh? Not going very fast.
Not moving fast at all. I've got up to the 10-minute charts still pointing downward, but it is really slow as molasses in January. It's almost like saying that we really did not hit wave E.
If you're looking at it in a bigger picture wise, so this would be our 3. So we've got our 1, 2 up here, and then 3, and then you could count it. You were saying A, B, C, but I mean, that's possible still, right? Yeah. And we could do that without even taking this low. But the way Tesla is going, we should be coming straight down, taking out these lows. You know, yeah, we could bounce again. That's totally possible. You know, maybe that's why they're holding it up like that. So there's Bitcoin making a nice quick move to the downside there. So I'll take some profits off on that right now. Take a quick profit on Bitcoin, and then bring my stop down into a more palatable area. Bring it. If I survive that, they might come back up again, but I would like to see them just continue. We've taken out this low. We have a gap now, so this gap should hold price down. Should continue down. Okay, so the NAS is slowly trying here, slowly trying. So we almost took this low, or did we? Yeah, we took that low. There we go. So I could bring my stop down a tad here. See if I can get $1,000 out of it here. Okay, so I'm bring my stop to this level here. So again, I'm looking at it as there isn't any reason for them to come back up anymore. So we should just continue straight down.
Well, it hasn't gone below the low on your left, which is almost hidden from.
Yeah, getting there. So that's where my target is. And the reason why my target is there is because, again, these are stops here. So they're just going to come through and take the stops. Now they can continue going down or whatever, but that's fine. Because at this point here, once they take that low, we could get a bounce before we continue down. Right. So, or go back up, whichever they're going to do. So Bitcoin has made a nice move down as well. And so just going with it. So almost at target. So these guys are gone. One left. So it's amazing that we see this 1, 2, 3 top. The expectation once we hit here and move back up is that we're going to take this low, but look at what they did to do it. You see, so that's what makes this expectation, right? Yeah, that's what makes it difficult to get there. There I go. I'm out now, and I can see that they're going to go much lower, but that's fine. I'll take the profit there, and but it's the expectation that they're going to take this low is what we have to have. If you believe in our structure. If you don't believe in the structure, then yeah, this is not going to happen for you. So you'll get caught in here thinking that you're going to go back up, and it's not going to happen for you, and you get stopped out. So now the question is, how far down do they go once they break this level, right? It's very difficult to ascertain because we've just been chopping up in here. And yes, we have a 1, 2, 3 here now. So we could see that we can go quite a ways down. So I didn't have to take a profit there. I could have actually stayed in much longer and so forth, but it's all good at this point, right? So 5 minute, can't see the low 15. So the 15-minute tells us, yes, that we could come and take this next low as well. So I could have stayed in longer by just moving up, and there's all these equal lows over here as well. So it's telling us that it's going for these lows as well. So there was really no need for me to exit at that point. But you don't have to be greedy. You can take profits off, as you get them, and you can always get back into a trade. So it's kind of the way I look at it. So like I said, we break that low. Mhm. Let's see how Tesla looks on the. Tesla made quite a drop there. Still going down. Like I say, Tesla is coming down to around 270. That's where I see, oh, and less. Well, that's quite the drop there on Tesla. Bitcoin's made a nice drop as well, giving me some nice profits. I've locked in over 2,000 in profits here, and it's still got a long way to go down. So looking for targets down below the low. Again, I can put my target there at the low, but it'll more than likely go even lower. So I'll put my target down into this gap down here. And yeah, we could easily hit that target there on Bitcoin. So nice moves, and it's just all about our structure, and that's the key for me, anyways. That's the key to our 1, 2, 3. Just knowing where you are in the structure, taking advantage of it. So beautiful profits, no losses. Great. So I don't have to be, like I said, I don't have to be greedy. I can just put my target at that low, because when we get to this low, it is possible that we just bounce at that point. We can just hit there and bounce back up again. So by putting your target lower, you take the risk of not hitting that target whatsoever. So it's again all up to you how you decide. But we got a nice 1, 2, 3 here, so I can see that we're gonna go well below this low, and we're gonna hit that target no problem. I could get stopped out as well, but that's fine. If they stop me out, that's okay. I can always jump back in. So the beauty, again, is that you can always jump back in. So if there's a gap here, so my stop is just right at the base of the gap, so they can easily come back up and take me out with a wick, with a spike into the gap and take me out. There's another gap here as well. So there's 2 gaps that they could come back to before they continue down. It's just another gap. There's 3 gaps. We're right into the first one. So you can mark the gaps off, but will they go through this one and come up into this one, come up into this one? I mean, they could just continue from here. They could go up into this one. They could go up into this one. You just, the only way we know is by looking at the structure. And the structure here now, you can't really see it clearly, but it's basically we're looking for the same structure. So I'm giving you guys the nitty-gritties here. And I got another couple minutes. I must go in a couple minutes. All right. So
It's 11:15 now.
yeah, getting there. One more minute. So I just wanted to see. So that's Bitcoin. So NAS still going? Yeah. See, we got that. Like I said, we could bounce from that level. So you see, we went through it. They came down a little further, and now they're bouncing off that. So that's expected, yeah, I could have brought my target down a little lower based on the 1, 2, 3 at this point. Now we get this bounce.
It didn't go. Oh, you're on a different. NAS didn't come down much lower than when I got out.
So this is now another sell to continue going down. So
yeah.
I could jump in again at this point to sell to continue going down to take out this low, because our structure is telling us that that's what should happen. So I could jump in again, but I have to go. So it's 15 minutes after the hour. Thanks everybody for dropping in, and
Thank you,
I
Lennox.
will say au revoir. And for those on YouTube watching, again, all for educational purposes, I'm not expecting anybody to take any of my trades. This is just, again, just for fun. So if you like what you're seeing, give us a like, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for dropping in. We'll see you guys on the morrow.
All right. Catch you tomorrow, sir. Thank you.
All right. Take care, everybody.